17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.
Oh, good evening, fans of fantastic films, and welcome once again to the Drive-In Asylum double feature. I am Bill Van Ryn from Fancy Drive-In Asylum. Below me is Sam Panico of BNS About Movies, and that way is Gigi Graham, Ms. Midnight
Yes, your co-host least likely to sit still, your cult film critic and Midnight Movie Monster. So if there's anybody new on the stream, I see lots of familiar faces in the chat. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hello there.
First thing I want to say is two more gorgeous people ever been in a movie together. From that trailer, like John Philip Law and Marissa Miller, like if we sent people into space to show aliens the perfect humanity, I think these would be two people we'd send.
They got my vote.
Yeah. Wow, that trailer made me even more. Not that I wasn't already bonkers excited tonight for both these movies, but like now I'm at fever pitch.
I'm all for any movie that has a scene of people having sex on top of large amounts of money. Yes. That's life goals.
She apparently invented Daisy Dukes.
Yeah.
Those are pretty amazing. Those shorts that she has on. But everybody looks fabulous in this movie.
No, this is a beautiful film. I think people, especially because it eventually ended up on MST3K, kind of ossified it into like this kishy, like kind of nostalgia piece sort of thing. But at this particular moment, this was actually a whole like continental op, I think is what Tim Lucas from Video Watchdog calls it, like these super lush, high production value Euro films. And this one is really, really pretty.
Yeah, it's my favorite Euro spy movie. And obviously, I kind of love that a lot of the Euro spies kind of take comic book inspiration and James Bond inspiration. They kind of come at the end of Batmania too, and there's like a lot of influences happening in this movie.
Well, tonight is definitely more of a specifically like right out of the comics. There's significant overlap between these two productions. They're both taking reference from a vogue at the time for a more adult sort of comic book. So consider this like the darker, grittier, the Batman kind of reboot of comic book fare for the 1960s.
Yeah. And I saw somebody in the chat said, is this Saint influenced? I a bit, but obviously Diabolik is a riff on Fantomas, of the gentleman thief, gentleman spy. And in the comic, he's even more evil than he is in the movies. He's more of a killer, and he's more of a thief in this movie.
This is the first time I've seen the term spy-getting.
Yeah, I like that. My second favorite is OK Connery, which is a ridiculous movie that takes Sean Connery's brother and puts him into a James Bond movie with everybody from the Bond movies, including Q, Moneypenny, like everybody that had been in one up till then, and even John Barry music, which is astounding. And
that is the limit.
It really pissed off Cubby Broccoli, and who Cubby is not named for, by the way, and and Sean Connery. He was like, why would you guys do this? His brother was a roofer. He is not an actor, which makes the movie even better.
Yeah, that really is kind of gratuitous. But who directed it other than Mario Bava? Who could have done a job like this with this picture? Other than Roger Vadim.
Yeah.
Is that how you say his last name?
I'm the wrong person to ask.
I was asking Gigi, not you.
I'm not sure, honestly. Because other than Barbarella, who cares? I don't know her.
This is shot on the sets of Barbarella, which had been shut down at the time.
That and there is some crossover because obviously Diabolik was also associated with Barbarella as the angel, if I recall correctly. Yeah?
Yeah. I saw Barbarella when I was 7 or 8, which was both the best time for me to see it and the worst time for me to see it on HBO. And I was at one point when the evil birds attack her and rip her clothes off. Finally, my mom was like, "I think it's time for Sam to go to bed." And I'm like,
Alan,
darling.
I'm glad someone knows. Thank you, Alan.
I love that bird scene where she's like, "Oh, how darling," and then they try and eat her.
Yeah. Yeah, this really had a lot of buzz when it came out because Diabolik was super a very popular comic. Still is today. As Gigi reminded me, there's a Diabolik movie coming out this year finally.
It's hard to find the actual source material. As far as I know, there's only 2 volumes of it translated. I think it's from Scorpion Publishing in English, but you can find it. It's not extraordinarily expensive, but the series runs much longer than anything that's covered in the film and anything that's been translated to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And I really love the idea that you'll see it. I don't want to spoil anything in the movie. This is a very episodic movie, but it really sets up that there could be 50 more of these, and there really should have been. This is usually sequels get worse, but I really think I would have loved to have seen another one after this.
I would have liked to have seen what could be done with a bit more money, but apparently the production was pretty troubled. The script was rewritten multiple times. Actually, the first polish was partially done by the director of tonight's second film and then rewritten. There was producer conflicts. There was recasting. No one was the first choice for any of these characters. And apparently the experience was so miserable that when Bava was offered the opportunity to do a sequel, he's like, no, never again. I don't want to work with Hollywood. I will work independently. This was so terrible that I just refused to do it anymore.
But they didn't even carry it on without him.
This is also it's Bava's second Eurospy movie. I guess you can count Dr. Goldfoot as a Eurospy movie too.
I think that's fair. I think you could, maybe with a little bit of an asterisk.
Yeah. I love that the only time he got to work with Vincent Price was that movie. You would think, couldn't they make a great gothic horror movie together? No, they're going to make this Goldfinger ripoff.
Which we saw on the big screen at the drive-in one year.
Yeah, and I was super excited about.
Wow. The way that movie looks is the best thing about it.
Yeah. I love it, but also I completely understand that it's not a great movie. But that's fine.
This whole show could be called We Love It, but it's not necessarily a great movie.
I will say, though, if you look at my letterbox and my top 4 movies and you do your top 4, I always say I love this movie. Danger Diabolik's in my top 4 on Letterbox. I unabashedly love this movie. And Steve Bissett, who is the artist on Swamp Thing, actually on the DVD has a whole feature talking about how this is the best. He considered it the best comic to movie translation ever made. Sin City's pretty close too, but this really, everybody looks it looks exactly like the comic. There's some scenes where they show his eyes. You can see him in the trailer we just showed. It looks great. It
did. They did make some sizable changes from the source material though. Eva, usually wears her hair in a top knot. She's wearing like practical tactical clothing, and they just threw a blonde wig on and put her in every gorgeous piece of mod fashion they could find.
It's not my favorite outfit Marissa Mel ever wore. That would be the outfit in Perversion Story, the motorcycle outfit that she shows up in.
You know what? I'll allow it.
Yeah, that outfit's crazy. I have no idea how you could wear that for more than 2 minutes, which she doesn't. So
double-sided tape.
Yeah, everything works out just fine, right?
Yes.
But I also think it's amazing that Bava made this movie for such a lower budget than Barbarella, which was another very troubled production, and the budget was way out of control on it. So he was able to really make something great for less money.
Well, it's amazing how kind of the whole moment of, Italian comic adaptations, everything is kind of centered around this movie. There was the crossover with Barbarella. The fact that there was producer and director conflicts. At one point, they were trying to get the rights out from under the producer, Dino De Laurentiis, who also was responsible for the 76 King Kong. And they couldn't do it. So Umberto Lenzi ended up adapting Criminal because he couldn't get the rights to Diabolik. Every other kind of movie in this little trendlet, late 60s, to early 70s little trendlet of comic adaptation is connected to this somehow. Corrado Farina, who did Baba Yaga, did a script polish on this. He wanted the first actress who played Eva Comp that got recast. She was originally supposed to be Valentina in Baba Yaga. So kind of all of this kind of Eurocrime, Euro spy, like dark comic book, all centers on this movie.
Sam, you're moving.
I know. I'm going to go out to the kitchen to get ready.
Oh, yeah.
Also, there's a Satanic got made around this time, too, which
with
really
Mike
source material, but yeah.
Oh, I love your Neon Maniacs shirt.
I got it to show you. This is a fast custom shirt if anybody wants it. So,
right on.
Super excited about it. Yeah, and Adolfo Celli's in it, who's also in OK Connery too. So AK Operation Kid Brother, which is maybe a better title for that movie. But
so, why don't you show us your cocktail for the evening?
I shall. Let me.
I mean, the first segment.
The first segment, yeah.
There's going to be two cocktails.
Let me grab out some stuff out of the fridge real quick.
And just because I see that a couple of you are Magda fans, she's more fun in Our Lady of Lust / Christiana Devil Nun. So if you liked her in Satanic, you should seek that out. I think it's on that Severin Bad Habits box set. It's probably the easiest place.
All right. I'm super excited about this drink tonight. Let me adjust my camera.
What have you got for us, good sir? Let's start drinking early.
The Eva Can't is the name of this drink. So wonder where that name came from. First off, I'm going to actually rim a drink, and I know people get excited and make jokes about that when I do that with a drink. So it's for you guys. We're going to do salt and sugar to start, and I've pre-frosted this glass. Oh, nice. So this is a mix of kosher salt and sugar to start it. And this is kind of like an Italian margarita is the description of this. It's a little different. Got a shaker here. And we're going to start with 1.5 ounces of tequila, which is not Italian, so that's kind of weird, right? But
anything goes on this show.
Right?
As long as we get drunk, it's fine.
Yeah. All right. There's 1.5 ounces of that, and we're going to do 1 ounce of amaretto. I guess this is where the Italian comes in, right?
You can stretch it, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, right? You can't really tell on camera, but that was a magnificent show of strength opening up this bottle.
It just happened to me, too. Yeah. One of these days I'll learn.
All right, now we're going to do some lime juice. We're going to do a tablespoon of lime juice. That looks like, what's that look like? That looks like that. And then we'll do a tablespoon of lemon juice. And then we're going to mix that up. Yay. All right, here we go.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been practicing. I'm like Brian Brown in Cocktail. Hope I don't kill myself. Spoiler warning if you haven't seen Cocktail. All right.
Damn, you ruined it for me.
There we go. It's very. I also chose this because you'll recognize the gold at the end of the movie.
Sorry, I shook over top of what you were saying. What did you say?
I said it's gold like the end of the movie, which I want to.
And as usual, because I'm a terrible bartender, I am going to make something much simpler, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
I kind of did my own thing too here, Sam. So full disclosure.
I will say this movie has perhaps the best soundtrack of any movie we've shown. The music in this movie is wonderful.
Well, I mean, we have a proper composer on this one.
Yeah. Morricone did some crazy movies, though. Like, it really amazes me. When you do that many movies, obviously, you're going to hit some weird ones, but he hit a lot of weird ones.
Well, I mean, this movie is absolutely lousy with people who went on to win Oscars.
Yeah,
the art director won 2 Oscars for costume and set design. Carlo Rambaldi won for SFX. Like, this movie, you know, yes, it was also Bava, but there was a talented crew on it. They were trying to make a real movie.
He also did perhaps the most upsetting effect I've ever seen from Lizard in a Woman's Skin, the dog.
Oh.
Bill literally yelled when we started driving it. You could hear cars go, "Oh!" And it's just like a 40-year-old, 45-year-old movie, and it still hit people.
It really shocked me.
Yeah.
The unshockable.
Yeah, unflappable, but yeah.
Can we drink now?
We can drink now. So, hey guys, I'm super excited. Zuzu.
Delicious. The perfect thing to look at some ads for Danger Diabolik. So here we go.
Let's look.
Let's. This is, you might not be able to tell this by looking at it, but it's a late 60s movie.
Yeah.
It's May 1960.
Just in case the font didn't let you know.
May 1968 is when this came out in the States. And, you know, this ad campaign was interesting, but they didn't go all out and make a whole bunch of different ads for it. I was kind of disappointed. I don't know. I expected a little bit more. It was double billed with William Castle's film Project X.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's a beautiful ad right there, though.
Mm-hmm. I never knew that those two films played together.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. Oh. And there's some other great stuff it played with, too. Oh. Here it is with Fever Heat.
Nick Adams.
Yeah. Wasn't he in Frankenstein Conquers the World?
Sure was.
I
like that Terry Thomas gets billed in this, though. Like, hey, for people that enjoy Terry Thomas, he's in it for about 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. He must have been one of the most bankable names.
I would say he is, yeah. I love that tagline, though. That's a great tagline.
It's it makes him sound a little sinister, other than his name.
Yeah. I'm amazed that this played the U.S. and played theaters. Like, I know it did, but these are the things that, like, really. Oh God, that is amazing.
I think this is from Canada.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken.
They did it right.
Yeah. I don't know. I really didn't have much to say about these ads, to be honest.
That looks like you designed that ad. I mean that as a compliment.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
You know, a lot of the stuff I do is reverse engineered from these ads.
Yeah. Wow, what a double feature that. I love that double feature.
Sons of Katie Elder.
Yeah, I love that movie.
John Wayne himself.
Oh my God, this one.
Yeah, I saved the best for last.
This is the mess that I would immediately take my money, go see.
Yeah.
And Sam, I put this in here just for you. This was objected by objected to by the Catholics.
Yep.
The underlying tone of this crime spoof, based upon an adult European comic strip, is negative and cynical. Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that it's about someone that breaks nearly every commandment in the movie and enjoys it and is rewarded for it.
And I mean, they toned it down quite a bit from the early days of the book, to give him more of a Robin Hood vibe. They still show him destroying like tax centers and banking institutions. So, I mean, if you want to read it, he's freeing everybody from student loan debt and things. That's kind of a noble impulse. But yeah, they definitely toned it down and people were still very upset.
So, Sam, I've heard you say on numerous occasions, I wanted to ask you about this when I heard you say this earlier. You have said on numerous occasions that Danger Diabolik is your favorite film. Mm-hmm. Not just Mario Bava film, like your favorite film.
Yep.
And I don't know, somehow it got knocked down into your top 5.
No, it's in my top 4, but it's definitely up there.
Discuss.
It's in there with Zombie, Flash Gordon, and I can't remember what the 4th one is. Flash Gordon's also Dino De Laurentiis movie.
Yeah, so. I was going to mention that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have a weakness for really brightly colored comic book movies, obviously. Oh, and Holy Mountain. That's the other one. So a little all over the place, but this movie moves really well, and like just the first time I saw it, like it totally shut my brain off. I think it's actually one of the reasons I started writing my site, because I was like, I want to tell more people about this, because it was out of print at the time before Shout Factory re-released it, and I had to find a bootleg of it, and I just wanted more people to see this movie, so that's why I started writing more.
Gigi, I've been meaning to ask you this question for a while. We just heard what Sam's favorite movie is. Do you have any movie that you would consider your favorite movie ever?
I mean, we're going to go with the obvious answer here, right?
I was wondering, but...
You want like my favorite film, full stop?
Yeah, I mean, is that your favorite film?
No notes.
Yeah, anything. It was just like
Sunset
your
Boulevard.
favorite. Oh, excellent.
Yeah, perfect movie, no notes. There is nothing I would change about that film. As far as my favorite genre film, it's David Durstan's I Drink Your Blood. But everyone, anyone who's ever seen anything associated with me anywhere online already knows that. But yeah, mainstream, like not necessarily a B film or an exploitation film, it's Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
I love Sunset Boulevard too. It's so creepy. One of my favorite moments is where her roommate says to her, "It's for you. It's that weird sounding woman again."
I just love that it is such a poison pen letter to Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Like old Hollywood and golden era Hollywood was on its last legs, and it's such a fuck you on its way out the door. And that's absolutely kind of gorgeous to me in a really mean-spirited way. It's like, the old Hollywood burn book.
Yeah. I can't think of any other movies off the top of my head that even address that. Can
There
you?
are
Tom, the dog that saved Hollywood. And Sextet.
Sextet. Oh my God.
Don't get me started on all of the urban legends around Sextet. Most of them are wrong and circulate widely anyway.
I would like to talk about this during the 3rd segment a lot. So just mark that down.
Mark that for the 3rd segment.
Bud Townsend was under consideration for Sextet.
Mm-hmm.
That was what when we had Linda Gillen on, she talked about it, and she said that Mae West was looking for a director for Sextet, and she considered Bud Townsend, and she really liked Terror House, and she had a screening of it, like just for that purpose, like so she could watch it with an audience and like make a recommendation about whether Bud Townsend should direct Sextet. I think that's really interesting.
She was with it until that fish got destroyed, until the shark got brained. And she was like, honey, I don't know.
She could have been committed to her role.
Yeah.
Just like any other actor.
Yeah.
So
okay, I'm going to save this for the 3rd segment. I have a lot of thoughts on the things that surround that movie.
Okay, so we won't talk any more about that, but we've only been on for 26 minutes, so we can't go to the movie yet. We have to talk about something.
Well,
Hey,
let's talk about
Becca.
the movie we're here to watch. Hi, Becca.
Yeah, I am. Wearing some J. Rude tonight.
I had mine on earlier this
Did
afternoon.
you?
Yes, style moments in cult cinema.
Exactly.
It's like a phase of the moon. We all wore our shirts and we didn't even know it.
Yeah. Becca met a lot of people yesterday, so she's still on kind of a high.
I know. Tell us about some of the people that you met. Where were you, first of all?
There is a horror convention. What is it called?
Horror Realm.
Horror Realm in South Hills, which is like 15 minutes from our house, which was awesome. And there was a ton of people there. And Becca talked to William Ragsdale, and I don't think I will ever make her as happy as William Ragsdale did in the 20 minutes that they talked. She was beyond happy.
He still looks good for his age.
He's what, 64?
61, I think.
61, yeah. And she was so flustered, neither of them realized that she didn't pay. And I had to be the party pooper, like, hey, we didn't pay him. He's like, oh, thanks, guy. And I'm like, cool. So, but anyway, yeah, we met him, and here, I'll show you some of the stuff we got real quick. I know it's kind of like third segment early, but, so you
That's
can kind
okay.
of see the people.
We breezed through this first segment, so we have to stall a little.
Met Amanda Beers from Fright Night.
One of my favorite moments in that film.
So she was in that, and Married with Children. So she signed that for me. She was super, super nice. I met the the cast of House 2. So Lar Park Lincoln and Jonathan Stark, who was also in Fright Night, they were there. So, and she was in the Friday the 13th with the one, that focuses on telekinesis, where they kill Jason with thoughts.
Oh, yeah. That was 7, I think.
And she was on Knots Landing, so I have to tell my friend Devin about that because that was his show. I met David Naughton from American Werewolf in London.
Jealous.
I know.
Such a good
He
one.
looked good too. And then this is the photo I had William Ragsdale sign because he was in Mannequin 2, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I did not get the Fright Night, but I did get this one. So, and I asked him how it was about meeting Hollywood, and he said he was fabulous. So, and then we met Rachel True from The Craft.
Who still looks the same somehow.
She looks exactly the
same. She doesn't age.
A couple of her curls have a little bit of gray in them, but that's it. Like body-wise, everything, she looks exactly the same. We probably spoke to her for like 45 minutes. She was very, very nice.
Had a lot of good advice for Becca.
Had a lot of advice. So,
and this is the only thing that I got
Sam met.
that I'm super excited about. A Midnight Poster by John Russo.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised you didn't go the majorettes.
He had a majorettes one too, but he had spilled coffee. It was covered in coffee, and he's like, "Well, if you want that one," so it was like one of the two. And he was like, "Why do you like this movie? It's really bad." And I was like, "Shh, I love this movie." He also didn't know Severin had released it, and their booth was right next to him. He goes, "Oh, I don't have it on Blu-ray. Maybe I should get that." I'm like, maybe they should just give it to you. But yeah. So.
They wouldn't, but they should have.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, the book's a lot better than the movie, and I'm like, yeah, I know somebody that feels the same way, Bill.
What?
He's like, the book's way better than the movie, and I'm like, yeah, my friend Bill says that all the time. Also, what's his name?
I never said that about Midnight.
Oh no, I thought you said about Midnight that you liked the book better than the movie.
No, I might have said that about something, but it wasn't Midnight. I don't think I've ever even read the book. And
Jeff Lieberman was there signing stuff from Squirm, and I was going to get an autograph, and he was eating salad all over his posters. I was like, yeah, maybe we changed our mind. But I almost got a Just Before Dawn poster signed, and he only had one.
My favorite slasher.
I know, and I was like, oh, man, this poster's awesome. And it had, like, salad all over it.
It would have been awesome without the oil and vinegar.
Yeah, you get in close with the people, right? So, yeah, but it was a lot of fun, and it was nice going. They have a Friday night thing there where you get to go from like 5 to 9, and there's hardly anybody there, and it was like really cool getting to spend that much time with people and talk to people. So it's pretty cool. And I bought a lot of stuff that you'll see in the third segment. I'm really excited about sharing.
Thanks to everyone who's hanging out in the chat with us. It's nice to see all of you.
One last thing. Becca bought this, and it's amazing. It's a killer clown drinking mug.
That is so much fun.
Yeah, I love this. What a goofy thing to give away. But yeah, Bill, also Fast Custom, because I know people on this show enjoy it. Fast Custom has Night of the Demon shirts. And I'm not talking about the 40s black and white movie. I'm talking about the Bigfoot Dick ripoff movie. So yeah. So it's pretty exciting. But the Neon Maniacs one, I was like, yeah, I kind of need that. And it was $11. I mean, that's ridiculous. Their shirts are so cheap. They live up to their name.
They're very reasonable. They've done all of our shirts that we've done here at Drive-In Asylum. And speaking of new shirts, thank you, Gigi, for modeling one tonight. I have one too. This one actually was not done by Fast Custom Shirts, full disclosure. But they've done 2 or 3 designs for us.
The guy who runs it had on a Bret Hart. All I can describe it as a Bret Hart Christmas sweater. Why?
He had a battery.
I'm sorry. More context, clarification, please.
He had like
he had a battery.
Like a Cosby sweater with the Heartbreak Kid. Like what?
Yeah, it was a Bret Hart Christmas sweater with a picture of Bret like doing the Bret pose, and it lit up, and his glasses lit up and spun around. It was really amazing.
Speaking of Fast Custom Shirts, they also did this one for the Super Drive-In Monsterama. This is coming up at the end of April. April Ghouls. We're very excited about it. I know you've heard us.
I'm so excited about this shirt.
I know you've heard us gush about this on this show every week. And yes, we are going to continue. And I designed this shirt for the event, and of course is the cover of Midnight. Midnight is one of the movies they're going to show this year, including effects. They are fucking showing Dusty Nelson's effects. One of my favorite movies that came from nowhere to blow my mind. I'm going to finally get to see it on a big screen. I'm very excited about that. But you can order this shirt from the Super Drive-In Monsterama. Just go to their Facebook page. The Riverside Drive-In in Vandergrift is where the event is taking place, but they are not selling this shirt. You have to go to the Drive-In Monsterama page, and you can order it. You can pay to have it shipped to you if you're not going to go to the event, or you can just pick it up at the event and save postage. Go check it out. Reasonably priced, and you got to have it, because even if you weren't there, you're going to want to say you were.
I'm going to make a promise this year, Bill, for the drive-in.
We're going to take a picture.
We're going to do something. We're going to film something from the drive-in this year.
If I somehow made it down there, would that encourage y'all to get off your butts and like do a show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't tease us like this, Gigi Graham.
I might not be. You never know. Maybe I have magic. Maybe I've got tricks. You don't know.
Also, I do not promise to eat pepper at the Honey Bear this year.
I was going to say, please don't eat pepper. Like, be more careful with your edibles, good sir. It's heavy for me to carry. You're a big guy.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell the baker to make sure that these edibles are not very strong.
Or just, make sure someone doesn't down the whole thing in one sitting.
Yeah, maybe don't take an edible at 2:30 in the morning when you're leaving at 5. Just plan maybe a little bit.
Yeah, and maybe if it takes a little while to kick in, don't eat that other half just yet. Just wait.
Yeah. I am making recipes though of for it. So there'll probably be a midnight and an effects drink. I definitely think there needs to be an effects themed drink. I don't know what that'll be, but I'll figure it out.
There is no official bar at this event, other than the back of Sam's.
Other than Sam's trunk.
Yeah, in Sam's trunk, there's anything you ever wanted.
Yeah. Also, this week, Bill, I went to a cider mill on our vacation when I missed you guys last week, and I got a ton of really good hard cider in Armada, Michigan, which was pretty rad.
Save me a drop, please.
Oh, it's so good. They're the people that made the Black Phillip themed cider a couple of years ago, Blake Cider. Which is how I found out about them. So I got some of their. I'll show you one. Right here. Their packaging is really amazing too. This apple lanterns, and it's all black can, and this is roasted pumpkin and raisins cider.
Oh,
Their stuff does not taste sweet. It's almost like more like a white wine or like a dry wine taste. It's really cool tasting. And they're national now, but they're really good. I got another one that's made from green tea and citrus too that I'm super excited about trying out.
you're
yeah,
really
I'm curious as
fancy.
to how that works out.
Yeah.
The green tea and citrus.
Yeah.
I had another one that another label made that was like a tea-based one, and it was really good. It sounds like something that could either be awesome or just be like too much. So I'm excited to see. And I'll show you what that one is. That one has like an amazing label on it. It's one of their artist series ones, and it has a really cool kind of cross design on it. But they were actually bottling. You can actually get stuff. This came right off the line now. They were making them that day, so it's pretty exciting. So, a lot of drinking about to happen.
It's such a religious design. Was that a bottle of water and then it turned into a bottle of beer?
Yeah, it's called the Sunday prayers, but it's called.
All of a sudden, it's a whole closet full of beer, so you can get all of your friends drunk.
Oh,
Yeah.
that might make me start to believe. But probably
Also,
not.
last week when I missed the show, I got to tell you guys, I'd never been to a Palestinian wedding before. And wow, it's a lot different than an American wedding. It's a
Was
lot
it a
more
good
fun.
party though? Was it a fun
It was
time?
amazing. I've always wanted to be at a wedding where they lift someone out of their chair and carrying them around the room like you see in canon movies. And it totally happened. It's pretty awesome. And I've never been to a wedding before that had a lamb. And they had a lot of lamb, and it was awesome. So, real cool.
All right. So anything we want to say before we get to our first speaker tonight, other than Cubby, Danger Diabolik?
Cubby has opinions. Do you want to do? Hi, Cubby. Oh my God, Cubby Cam. Everything stops for Cubby Cam. Too cute. I see someone is feeling better.
Yeah, how about that?
Much better, yeah.
Awesome. And if you do come to the drive-in, Gigi, remember, don't touch Cubby.
Yeah, I'm aware. I would like to keep my hands. You know, they're not spectacular, but they're mine. I would like them to stay that way.
Sam, anything you want to say before we go into the film?
I'm super excited that we're watching this, and I hope everybody loves it. And it's not a horror. Obviously it's not a horror movie, but it's wild. But I think it definitely fits into what we're showing, and I'm really excited that we're showing 2 Italian comic movies that fit. This is a really good fit this week. Like both these movies work so well together, and I'm so excited. And they're both wildly different worlds. I think. Sorry to get on a soapbox about comics, but as a kid, I was always like, "Oh, you're childish for liking comics." Like Italian comics are totally different. They explore a lot of different things. So, really excited for everybody to see them and enjoy them, and don't expect a Marvel movie or a DC movie with these movies.
Don't think of it as comics in the American sense, because culturally this was a very different moment. This would be more akin to like a Vertigo or a Dark Horse or one of the more niche imprints if you want to make an American comic analog. And even then, it's not the best analogy. But this is much like animation is not just for kids, neither are comic books. And that was kind of what this moment was all about. Yeah. The beginning of this movie makes me bonkers excited with all the motorcycles and the giant visions of the buildings and the music. I'll be bouncing off the walls in a couple seconds. Trust me.
I think the correct term is fumetti.
Yeah. Yes. Fumetti neri.
Yeah. Speaking of, I'll show you guys in the third segment. I got a fumetti last night from Severin. They were giving away fumettis of So Sweet, So Perverse, which are the photocomic versions.
Very cool.
Yeah, and wow, it's awesome. It made me realize again as I was looking through it, I'm like, man, I love this movie. It also made me realize how much I love Carol Baker, which I'm sure you guys could all guess. It's really cool. So.
I don't think anyone here will disagree with you about that.
I sent it to Mike Justice, and he's like, "Why do you have this and I don't?" I'm like, "Well, I'll send it to you." Like, you can still get it, you know.
Mike Justice, have you seen Danger Diabolik?
He says he hasn't.
I think he
and,
needs it.
The new movies come. Wait, Gigi, the new one comes out. The Minetti Brothers one comes out on DVD, Blu-ray pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's coming to disc relatively soonish. I would have to double check, but
it was supposed to play theaters in Italy in December, but you know how weird movies have been as of late.
Yeah, the release calendar means nothing anymore.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out when Vinegar Syndrome is bringing out Horror High. I don't think there was a date associated with that, was there?
No, and I'm still trying to figure out when they're bringing out Vagazia de los Punks because they announced it like 2 years ago. And every time I ask, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's coming out." I'm like, been a while.
I'm still waiting on Grindhouse releasing to do Hollywood 90028, Hollywood
Yeah.
Hillside Strangler.
Oh wow!
Ages ago.
I've never seen that movie, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And John brought up the band Midnight from Cleveland, who are fucking awesome. I love that band, and they're really good. If you like Venom, and that's probably the best way of describing them. They're very like loud and abrasive, like Venom. They're really good. I've seen them a lot of times.
I think Midnight was originally released in 1982, although it was shot much earlier than that. You can tell it was shot at least like in 1980.
John Russo said to me, he said like he begged for them to do reshoots because it was so shitty the first time it was done, and he was not happy with it. And he goes, "It's still not good, but it's better than it could have been." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I really like it." He goes, "Well, you don't have a lot of taste." And I was like, "Yeah, I prove that every week." So
I don't know. I think this is a very stylish film. This week.
Oh yeah.
Make a case for this.
This is one of the movies you can make a case that I have some level of taste on, maybe.
It's unfortunate that a lot of modern audiences are familiar with it via Mystery Science Theater because this isn't really a bad movie. There are places where its lack of budget fails it, but there's a lot of really talented personnel. Like, yeah, it has some flaws. Again, it didn't have the budget to really execute the way it wanted to, but unlike a lot of the films that show tended to focus on, this wasn't necessarily conceptualized as just a cheap B movie production. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, at least we get to show it to people now, and hopefully they can see it with fresh eyes because it is a very stylish film.
Yeah. And it's a couple people have mentioned, if you've seen the body movement video by Beastie Boys, they used all the footage from this movie. So, yeah.
All right. So let's get to the movie, shall we?
Let's do
I promise not to bounce around a lot, Gigi. Look, I'm like bouncing a lot, so I apologize.
Well, we're both failing at that.
Yeah, exactly.
None of us can stop
We're just
moving.
gonna have to like dance it out, work it out.
Do not attempt to adjust the horizontal or the vertical.
Vertical.
Yeah, I watched Breakin' today, and I was dancing a lot during it. So not good at all, obviously. What a day! Breakin' and 10 to Midnight. What a double feature.
Luckily, I was able to find both of tonight's films on YouTube, so you don't have to watch them on Tubi and sit through commercials.
Oh.
If you're new to the show, we don't actually watch the movie here in the environment. I provided a link to go watch it on the Groovy Doom page. We're broadcasting simultaneously tonight to our YouTube page and also the Drive-In Asylum Facebook page, because I just figured out you can send to 2 different Facebook pages if you want to. And I was like, well, why haven't I been doing it on the Drive-In Asylum page? I don't know. I'm new at all this. I'll never be nominated for a Rondo.
Oh, I'm nominating you for an Aldo. That's our new awards.
I'll take it.
Yeah, the Aldo.
Come back after the movie. We'll have some more discussion, some more cocktails, some more smoking and talking on the Drive-In Asylum double feature.